Much for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Carl. Have a good night.
Thanks. So Dr. Tony Fauci, who is a stone-cold genius who you were not allowed to question, told us that masks do not work. In fact, they may harm you. Now he's telling us they're completely essential. He told us that handshaking should never be allowed, but having sex with random people you meet online, totally cool. Fauci has been wrong quite a bit. Sometimes he's absurd. Now he's praising China for its transparency, and we have the tape of that. Now, we're not attacking him, okay? We're just, as citizens, asking questions. What the hell is going on? Dr. Seigal weighs in next. It's possible that no doctor in American history has ever had as much power as Tony Fauci has right now. But Fauci is not God, despite his apparent omniscience. He told us that masks didn't work and could hurt us. Later, he changed course and said they were mandatory. He said Americans shouldn't worry about the coronavirus, even as it bore down on this country. And then earlier this year, here's a tape we just found. Here's what Tony Fauci said about China.
China has been known to fiddle with their stats before. Do you trust what they are telling us about this illness?
From what I can see right now, they really are being much, much more transparent than what happened with SARS, where they really kept back information for a while. It was embarrassing to them. They're really transparent now. They put the sequence of the virus up on the public database right away. So in that respect, they've been transparent.
Fox medical contributor Dr. Mark Seigal joins us tonight. Doctor, that clip was on Fox. David Asman did that interview. It was a good interview. I hadn't seen it until today. I'm kind of surprised that Dr. Fauci would say that China was so transparent.
Tucker, he's also said that to me. I want to start by saying that I have a lot of respect for Dr. Fauci for many years, but there's three major areas I disagree with him on strongly, and I'm going to talk about them now. One is the Chinese scientist issue. The second is lockdowns, and the third is schools. Now, regarding the Chinese scientists, I think we were badly deceived. We were never allowed to have boots on the ground. That should have told you something. Dr. Redfield could never get the CDC in there. We were told all these types of things about this virus by Chinese scientists. Meanwhile, it's way more contagious than we thought. It's way more deadly than we thought. It has way more side effects than we thought. Now we've seen it affecting children. Meanwhile, the Chinese were locking down internally. They're in China, but we're letting people go to Europe and then on to the United States. It spread through highly asymptomatic people, and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Redfield, nobody knew about that. So he has to admit now that we were badly deceived by Chinese scientists working for the Chinese government. Second point is regarding lockdowns. Now, there was a scientist back in 1918 named Starkloff. He was the health commissioner of St. Louis. You know what he did? He looked at the Spanish flu, Tucker, and he said, it's coming here from Boston, second wave. You know what he did? He locked down the city, and he saved thousands of lives. Way in advance of a much less contagious virus than this one. Way in advance. That's the key. Because remember, I just told you this COVID-19 has been spreading wildly through our society. It's too late for lockdowns. All of these draconian lockdowns are destroying our economy, leading to thousands and thousands of deaths from despair, from drug abuse, from alcoholism, from unemployment. We have to consider that. We should focus only on the hot spots and just do social distancing and start to take all of these cables off. That's where Dr. Fauci's wrong. Too late for lockdowns. Third point, schools. Schools are not on the table here, Dr. Fauci. Are you kidding me? Already kids were sent home to spread COVID-19 to grandmothers. And regarding this fall, the 1918 second wave, I've been monitoring Australia, and so has Dr. Fauci. You know how many cases are in Australia today, Tucker? 11. Only 11 new cases. That's the Southern Hemisphere. That's essentially our November right now. It predicts that we're not going to have a big second wave. When our children go back to school, there's going to be plenty of testing. We're going to test teachers. We're going to test students. We have very mild cases among our young or asymptomatic, but we're going to keep an eye on them. Finally, a non-medical point I want to end on here. Politically, if you think the Democrats are going to let the liberal colleges stay closed, think again. Those are their future voters, Tucker.
That is such a smart point. Some of them are going to go out of business, and we're going to have a little party on this show. Not a little party, actually, a big